Physically, it's not a very demanding job. The only thing that can be a little bothersome is the remoteness of the location.
Will there be kangaroos?
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Down the back, up the stairs.
Down the back.
Up the stairs, mate.
You're the new girls.
Yeah.
The Royal Hotel is such an extreme adventure. It's almost too uncomfortable to watch for many women. I mean, it happened. It was inspired by a true story that happened to Canadians, which makes me wonder, maybe we are too trusting. Women watching this, any woman watching this will recognize that there is danger ahead, and they are told that there is danger ahead. But they go forth. I mean, they need the money to get home, which is a strong factor. But I'm wondering, is it naivety, a sense of invincibility, need for adventure? What do you think it was?
I don't know. I think it's a sense of it depends on which character. I mean, firstly, they want some money, right? And this is the only
definitely
is that's good money. They just have to put up with a bit of male attention, which they agree to. And then once they're there, I think it's about the game is like the whole film is centered around the premise of, is that a joke or is that a threat, or how am I in danger? I think is the question. And I think you're never quite sure, I think, especially when you're a foreigner in that world, in Australia, that context. But also just with that sort of behavior when there's a little bit too much alcohol involved and it's getting a little aggressive, but it's still okay, but it's not, I feel uncomfortable. It's about like, when do you stand up for yourself? When do you say, no, this is enough? At what point?
Well, and also you ramp up the attention. So in little tiny steps, the tension, not the attention. And that really gets to you. And I mean, I would have cried uncle way before they did, but that's me. A red flag is a red flag. Would you have done what they did?
It's interesting, like screening it for Australian audiences, because for them, the pub is not a scary place. It isn't until maybe the last quarter of the movie that, 3/4 in.
Really?
Like, oh, maybe things are a bit out of hand. Yeah. But so I think it's a different experience depending on where your audience is from, what they've been exposed to. But yeah, the girls are Liv's character, played by Jess Henwick, she's more accepting of just like the cultural differences, like the loneliness of the men. They're in an isolated community out there, so she's more accepting. Julia's character Hannah is a little more cautious and a little more just assessing the environment constantly, always checking the threat level. So it sort of depends. I think each of us have played each role, depending on who we're traveling with, how safe we feel, how drunk we are. We all make our own decisions as we.
We're on vacation. We should be on a beach somewhere.
We have sunshine and booze in a box. Let's put up with it for a few weeks, make some cash. It'll toughen us up.
Right. Gold is for Carl Gull. Red is Redlands. Honey's in his hand. You get him a beer.
Why'd you want to come all the way out here?
It was the furthest away.
Lean in a little when you serve them down, eh?
That'll be us in a few weeks.
Hugo Weaving, as I've never seen him before. He's one of these sort of backwoods people. He drinks a lot. He has a lot of problems. Was it hard to convince him to do this? Like, it's an image smasher.
It was hard to convince him to do it, actually, to be honest. We had to get him to watch The Assistant. I had to explain what we're trying to do, what the film's about, what the message is. We did a lot of that to get him to do it. But yeah, no, he's such a gentleman and he's so charming. And, we were all charmed by him. He didn't come off on set. He was just such a joy to work with. So
I love to hear that. That's wonderful. Now, the men involved, the people who come in, the regulars. Well, again, I guess it's a cultural thing, but they're just so animalistic at times. And I wonder if they were very careful on the set to be around the girls. Or if they stayed in character.
We were like casting the right people. Like, we were careful when we were casting that they were the right people, that they understood what the film was about, that they were solid people we could depend on and who were caring and warm. And we got the best group of guys, honestly. They were so lovely and they looked after our girls really well. And yeah, I remember James, who plays Teeth, saying like, Julia's gonna have he had met Julia before and he's like, she's gonna have the best time in Australia. Like, I'm gonna make sure she has the best time ever. And it's true, she had such a wonderful time because those guys were so kind. And so yeah, I think it's particularly a casting thing, like getting the right people is a very important. We were very clear with the casting director about the type of, human beings we wanted on our set, to make sure.
And tell me about the location. Did you build it or was that an actual inn that existed?
We built the interior. So the exterior stands in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours north of Adelaide, just by the side of a road. It's an abandoned pub. So we were able to kind of take over the whole space essentially. And then we built the interior to emulate the exterior essentially. So it was a lot easier to shoot the interiors because we were in the city. We had access to everything we needed.
Now your films have dealt with the idea of female empowerment. Of women being placed in situations that are unhealthy by men. Why does this topic interest you so much?
Yeah, and I guess I like looking at situations that are a little murky or a little gray, or where you're unsure if you should speak up or not, or if you're unsure if they're treating you badly or not. Like all the kind of the gray areas are kind of interesting to me. So yeah.
Well, I must say The Assistant and The Royal Hotel are brilliant films, and it's the authenticity that just gets you. And I wonder what is next. Will this be a thematic trilogy?
I keep saying to Julia, we need to make it a trilogy. I think so. Find something to do together, but not sure what it will be. But I hope we can figure out a third one because we love each other so much, and we've got a good thing going. So we can make a third one work. So yeah.
Tell me the beginning of that before you started on The Assistant. How did you become such like friends, soulmate kind of friends?
Julia and I? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those ones where we cast her and we met before we cast The Assistant, and we just got along and it worked. It was one of those things that clicked, and it was my first time working with an actor, so like a professional actor in that context. So I thought maybe that's what it's always like. I was very like naive, I realized I found something really special. It just happened to be the first person that I sat down with essentially.
Isn't that great? Wow.
Yeah.
What a lucky thing. And now you're going to do 3, right?
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
And I think but there's a strong message that the film has for us. And that is that women can look after themselves. They can stand up for themselves and best before things get bad. And I think that's really important, to be able to sense that.
Yeah, exactly. We want to make a movie about like trying to prevent that behavior from happening. How do we prevent it from escalating into sexual abuse? And so, you know what I mean? How do we stop it before it gets there? So that's what this movie's about, kind of. Yeah.
And I just want to say congratulations on the incredible reviews that the film is getting. Well deserved. Thank you so much, Kitty.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Lovely to chat to you.
Yeah. Dickens?
Dickens cider?
They're disgusting.
It's a tip.
That's enough.
You want me to go? Hey?
We're leaving. We're out.
Where are you going to go, eh? Bus is not for 2 days.
I'm scared of everyone and everything in this place.
Make what you can. Get on the bus and go.
You gonna hit me with that?
We'll take it.
Great. Get the paperwork started.
Thank you. What?